MP of Meru, where our political reporter Murimi Mwangi is currently on standby to give us an update on the election preparations ahead of tomorrow's poll. Murimi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, Akisa, this is Imenti South, a constituency that has some 216 polling stations and an extra one in the prison. And as you can see, the electoral material is already here. The presiding officers and the deputy presiding officers are already here to pick the material to their respective polling stations. The pictures that my cameraman Samson Ndege can get for you perhaps. But just get a word on the preparations before the repeat poll in this constituency tomorrow. We would like to speak to the returning officer for this constituency, Madam Lina Kilonzo. Thank you so much for joining us. Around what time do we expect the final dispatch to the polling stations to take place?
By 3 p.m., we should be done with the dispatch to the polling stations. Yes, because as you can see, the materials are ready. We have organized everything. The POs are here and DPOs. They are waiting to go to the polling stations. Yes.
Now, in other parts of the country, there are specific polling stations that do not have officials to oversee the election. Do you have officials for all your polling stations?
Yes, I have. I have 441 officials for this exercise. That is POs and DPOs. And then I also have 730 clerks for the purposes of this election. Yes, that is an adequate number.
Now, in the nullified August 8th elections, you oversaw voting in this particular constituency. How was the turnout and what is your expectation as Kenyans here go to the polls tomorrow?
Yes, the turnout was 88%, and I'm expecting that they are still going to turn out because I've seen them and they have talked of coming to vote. So I'm expecting that they will be turning out in large numbers to go and vote. Yes.
Now, perhaps my very final question. At the Supreme Court petition which nullified President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election, there was a spotlight on Forms 34A and Forms 34B, and it was about errors and the transfer of data from Form 34A to Form 34B. What mechanisms do you have here to ensure that the final copy of Form 34B that you dispatch to Nairobi does not become subject to such a process again?
Yes, with my personnel, we'll be able to verify the results. Because at the tallying center, once the results come, we have to confirm that what we have put in the computer for that Form 34B is what is contained in Form 34A from the polling station. Yes, so with my team, we'll be able to confirm that the details have been entered correctly as they are contained in the Form 34A from the polling station.
Thank you so much for your time. And as you know, Akisa, this is an election that has been preceded by so much litigation and even another process happening in Parliament that culminated in the passage of the Election Laws Amendment Bill 2017 that has put the country's political climate to what you might call a fever pitch, even as we go to the polls tomorrow. And I can spot the area MP here, Mr. Kathuri Murungi. Perhaps if you could just join us. Well, we understand from political corridors that a few of the leaders that are expected to marshal the numbers for the voter turnouts to be higher this time round is the elected leaders. How will you be doing that?
Yeah, actually, let me say that we are set here in South Imenti constituency. Last time we really voted for the President Uhuru Kenyatta with 8,000 votes. And all through these weeks we have been talking to our people and I feel we are really comfortable because our agents, President Uhuru's agents have been trained and dispersed to the polling stations. All the 216 polling stations we are set for the elections tomorrow. And also our people, the voters themselves, have been talking to them through the church, through meetings and through other rallies. And we are comfortable that we will surpass the 8,000 votes that we did last time.
But one fact that cannot escape any keen political observer is that we are going into this election perhaps more divided than we were before the August 8th elections. Besides this particular election, as members of the political class, what are you doing to cool the tensions? Because there are other parts of the country where residents have said they won't turn out to vote tomorrow.
You know, the issue here is per se not the Jubilee side or President Uhuru Kenyatta, because the issues that NASA were releasing were directed to IBC, and IBC is the only constitutional body mandated to carry any election. Therefore, I think they have done their best and been explaining to everybody, to the presidential candidates, their preparedness. And therefore, personally, I thought that also NASA will join in the elections, and then if there are any issues that will come after tomorrow's elections, then the Supreme Court is there again to mediate and to bring the country together. Therefore, I think the best thing still is for Raila Odinga today, we are expecting his announcement to tell his people to participate tomorrow in the elections. And if there will be any issues which IBC will not have really conducting themselves nicely, then they can take the court the course. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Mheshimiwa. Well, Akisa, as you can see, it's clear here the elections will be happening in this constituency, and the material is already here. The presiding officers and the deputy presiding officers already here to pick that material.